in a bit. I need keys. I need keys. See you later. Forgot poo bags. Which bag? Where is it? The white bag. All right, mate. I know. Got. Yeah, I've got them. See you later. All right, down. Come on. All right. Okay. I passed the Turing test yesterday. My own little Turing test. Shelley has been spotted on TikTok by a Canarian radio TV company, and they wanted to chat with her about it because I think the red light hit 800,000 views or nearly 900, I don't know. And they managed to get Shelley's number, and the trouble is he didn't speak English. So my Spanish is better than Shelley's. At the beginning of the year, I set a goal out that I wanted to improve my Spanish. And later on in the year, I embedded that fact as well, I think, by saying that I wanted to maybe later on in life become a translator for medical issues for men who don't necessarily want a female translator to go with them to the hospitals and stuff like that. So not secretly, I've been doing these walks every day. And the reason why there's not been that many vlogs is because I wanted to hold true to my New Year's resolution and improve my Spanish. The other resolution was lose weight, and that's not happening. And the reason why that's not happening is most probably because I'm enjoying life far too much. I'm having a great time. Life at the moment is just, I feel so blessed, it's ridiculous. But the Spanish thing is I get the headphones in and I literally just do an hour's walk and I do an hour Spanish. I've been doing that every day, maybe for the last 4 or 5 months. And what happened yesterday was the Turing test was that I gave an interview over the telephone in Spanish with regards to Shelley, myself and Shelley, our YouTube channel. You know, why we live here, how long we live here, what's beautiful about here. Antonio was great, he's a really nice guy, really helpful. As long as he spoke slowly, we managed it. But I've learned over the past all tenses. So I think that's the big thing in Spain, or that's the big thing in language, is it's not actually the words. The words are okay, but it's the tenses. Now, for a basic Spanish speaker, like people who visited here, you might know the sentence, hablas inglés, or no hablo español. We'll take no hablo español. No hablo español means I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. That's a present tense. Did you know there's many tenses though? You think it's present and past and future, but there's more than that. There is preterite tense. There is the imperfect tense, the perfect tense. There is the future tense. There is the, I can't remember what the words, I can't actually think the names for them, but the easiest way to explain it is, I speak, then needs to become I spoke, I used to speak, I have spoken, I will speak, I would speak. So all these different tenses. And that's when it starts getting a little bit confusing. That's what I've been working on really hard for the last 4 or 5 months. And it's slowly getting together. Hablo, I speak. Hablé, I spoke. He hablado, I have spoken. Hablaré, I will speak. Hablaría, I would speak. But the thing is, when you've got that just on that one word, you've then got to pass that all the way through to all the other verbs that you know. And that's where you go, my God, there's a mountain of it. And to be honest with you, that's where I've been struggling. But yesterday I got forced into a position where I had to take this interview. And it was great, honestly. It was at the end of it, I thought I'd made a right mess of it, but Shelley's like, that was brilliant, because the words you're coming out with there, I didn't even know. And the interviewer said it was good. So I passed the Turing test. Now, what is the Turing test? The Turing test is with regards to Alan Turing, the guy who invented the computer, but it's AI, it's an AI test. It's when you cannot tell if it is a computer or a human that is actually doing it, the program. And they called it the Turing test. And the world passed the Turing test about a year ago. I think it was with ChatGPT, where you cannot tell whether you're talking with a human program or with an AI program. And this is the other thing that I've been doing, is like, and this is what really the vlog is about today. I think I've maxed out. I think I'm getting to a point where I max out. One of the other things that I do on this walk is that if I can't be bothered learning Spanish, I listen to podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I left school with 4 GCSEs, and they weren't great. English language, maths, German, and geography, believe it or not. Geography, can't believe that. Rollo, come here. Let's get money's lead. And 4 GCSEs. Because I was too busy with golf. Stop there. But then after that, stop. I learned everything about golf. Wait. Let's get this on. But then after that, there you go. Come here. Then after that, I didn't really learn until later in life. And now, in the last 3 years, 4 years, learning has been spinning me around. Learning has been an insatiable part of my daily routine to keep my mind active. Maybe somebody says to help with my ADHD, most probably because I don't sit still. But learnings have been really the big thing for me. That I've been like literally soaking up knowledge, new ideas, and I listen to it's via podcast. It's more theoretical, theorizing, more philosophy, more what ifs, where we're at, and this is a really roundabout way of talking, to be honest with you. And it's just like I need to try and get to a point on this. For me, this is the other reason why I've been quiet on the channel, because I've been busy with Rick and Shelley, I've been busy with work, I've been busy with learning Spanish, but I've also been busy learning myself, and I've been doing that for like 4, 5, 6 months as well. I've got myself right back into it with the podcasts, and there's a few that I listen to. Hopefully you'll know what a podcast is. If you don't, just look up what a podcast is, and some of them are fantastic, some of them are amazing, but the trouble is these people that are amazing are also nearly on the verge of insanity as well. And it's like, at what point do you listen and go, yeah, and at what point do you go, oh mate, that's just mental. So I agree with some of these stuff, but I can't agree with all of it. And the people I'm talking about, let me just explain a couple of podcasts that I listen to. To relax, completely relax, I listen to a podcast called Adrift. Jeff and Annabelle, used to follow them from the Virgin Radio days, and I now follow them, car coming down, Virgin Radio days, come here. I now follow them as they've got their own podcast. They've left the radio. They've become their own boss, really. Bosses of their own, in charge of their own destiny. And they've created this podcast called Adrift. And it's for people who don't like public situations. They prefer to be a little bit quiet, off the radar. It's a bit of a nerdy little thing, but it's quite funny. I quite like it. And I listen to that mainly to relax. They do one a week. And it's really, for me, it's like proper chewing gum for the ears, I call it. Chewing gum for the ears. Let's get across, Roller, come on, this way. Chewing gum for the ears, I love it. It's just like, you don't even have to think. So I'm walking, you don't even have to think. I can handle that, dead easy. The next one, I found myself on YouTube listening to Russell Brand. And to be honest with you, he puts up 20-minute videos, right? And I get to about 4 or 5 minutes and I'm like, no, I'm done. I can't do you. I genuinely can't do him. I want to do, because I think from what a lot of people say, he speaks the truth. From what a lot of people say, he's very intelligent. But I just can't get past it. I don't know why. I just can't get past it. So I last about 4 or 5 minutes. And that really annoys me that I don't, give him the time, or I don't have the time for him in my conscience to stop and listen, you know? And I can't explain why. Some people might think he's a genius, some people might think he's an absolute idiot. You know, the line's pretty close anyway between genius and stupidity, isn't it? Right, I'm going to start again when I get to the top of the hill. You know the score. It's like, who knew Tenerife was on a hill? Spinning me round. I'll see you at the top of the hill. Nearly there. So do any of you listen to Russell Brand? Do any of you make sense of him? Should we just move on? He's got like 8 million followers on YouTube, or 6 million that follow him. You know, so I genuinely don't know. However, come on. If you have Spotify, however, one that I do listen to all the time, and I don't actually, I'm going to say recommend, Joe Rogan. If you go on Spotify and search the Joe Rogan Experience, you get long form content, which is like somewhere between 2.5 to 4.5 hours of content with all sorts of guests ranging across the whole of the scope, which is just, don't get me wrong, some of them, I can't do his fighting ones. Some of them, the comedians, I don't even listen to the comedians really. Although I do think comedians are most probably some of the cleverest people because of their word plays. I've got a truck coming up here, so I just need to get into a little corner so we're off the road. Truck and a couple of cars. So the comedian, some comedians are very clever, which I think maybe I should listen to, I don't know. But he gets some of the world's brainiest people on there, which are really fascinating and interesting. People always look at me with a camera and go, what on earth is going on? Why not? And if you imagine there's a podcast, an interview with somebody that goes on for 4.5 hours, this walk's an hour long, that's pretty much a week's walking done just listening to one person. And hence the reason why then all of a sudden the videos stop from just Rick, because I'm busy with the Rick and Shelley stuff. But Joe Rogan, he's had some people on recently which have just been mind-blowing. I've always enjoyed his Elon Musk interviews. Mark Zuckerberg as well. I found they were a bit older, but I found them interesting. But recently he's had on a guy called Terence Howard. And that just blew me away. It really blew me away. Terence Howard's actually an actor who starred in Empire. And I was watching Iron Man with Alice 2 nights ago. And he plays a military man in Iron Man as well. I went, oh, that's Terence Howard. Who's pretty much ostracised himself from the acting world because he's put out there theories on the start of life, how life started and how life began and the future. And he was on Joe Rogan for 3.5, 4 hours. And I've got to say, his arguments were pretty damn compelling. They were really compelling. It is a fascinating interview. So, Joe Rogan, Terence Howard, if you've not heard it, go and have a listen to it. Because what happened after that was it shook the world of professors across the world, like Harvard, Oxford, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like the American version of Brian Cox. And it created pretty much a storm that just went under the news, I suppose. But it was really fascinating. But then what he did on top of that afterwards, which was really, Joe Rogan did after that, was really good, was about 3 weeks later, he brought him back, Terence Howard, and then brought him back with an astrophysicist, I think it was, who was prepared to debate these theories. And the astrophysicist, I think he was an astrophysicist, he was, clever man. The conclusion was, some of the stuff you're saying, Terence, is absolute utter garbage. But some of the stuff you're saying, you've got a point in there. There's some of that could be right. Now, this is the whole thing then comes to like, there's another car, that encapsulates like conspiracy theories and, you know, just mad ideas. You only need one little bit of lunacy to debunk everything that somebody said. Yet that one little bit of lunacy is normally put in there because some of the stuff in there is actually quite true. And I think this is what I've come to, and it's just like, it's really starting. I know I must be geeking out here, but this is like the way my brain's thinking at the moment. And then I've been listening to Joe Rogan's theories on alien life form. Have we been visited before? He thinks we have because of the pyramids, for instance, or he believes that there was a life force on this planet far superior to ours in the past that has since gone, which also can make sense. But it's not whether it's right or not that's the issue for me. The issue for me is it gets me thinking. And when it gets me thinking, it's just where your brain goes, and my brain just tends to go like on a triathlon, my brain. It's just away. And eventually you have to go, hang on a minute, stop. They were talking about the start of life, how it started. Terence Howard's got a theory about how it started, and it was really, really interesting. And I never even knew that this sort of stuff interested me at all. Never knew. I didn't even know it, but it does. And I get lost. I listen to it and I get lost as a car coming. It becomes a bit of a jumbled mess in my head. And the worst thing about it all is there's no answers. It doesn't give me answers. And that's probably one of the most exciting things about it, but also one of the most annoying things about it as well. It's the fact that there's no answers. So you'll never know. You never get to, like, watching a film, you go, sorry, I'm going to come to the end of this, I'm going to get the conclusion. On this one, there's no conclusion. And I'm like, damn. I know I'm rambling. But why have I maxed out? This is the reason why I maxed out. One person. I think he's called Jordan Peterson, I think he's called. If it's wrong, I'll put it underneath now. I've not got time to look for it. And he is, I think he's a psychiatrist, American, very famous, very clever, very astute, very highly recommended, very highly held in high esteem by a lot of people. Oh, there's a woman with a dog. Let me just get past this. The thing is with this Jordan Peterson is he's a bit like Russell Brand. I can't get away with him. I listen to him and I'm like, nah. And I don't know whether, if you've known him, heard of him, there's a tone in his voice that he has. And I don't know if it's that tone or that pitch that then debunks for me all the stuff that he says. It doesn't debunk it, it just like makes me tune out. Well, normally I tune in. With him I tune out. And I can't explain why. Wait there. I can't explain why he makes me tune out. And I think that's where I've maxed out. I listened to him. He was on Joe Rogan about a week ago, and I was listening. And after about 40 minutes in, I just went, no, give up, can't do it. And it's maybe a shame, or maybe I've reached a peak of wanting to learn stuff where I've gone, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. There's a couple more cars coming. The trouble is, the stuff I've learned, I couldn't even tell you. He seems to want to attack white cars. A white car goes past, he wants to go for it. So the stuff that they've told me, I couldn't even tell you, as you can see by this video. But I highly recommend that you go and listen to it. If you feel that you're a person a bit like me, and you thought, I like Rick, I think along Rick's thought lines, I think along his thought patterns, then I can't explain enough. If you are a walker and you've got time to think and ponder, I can't emphasise enough how I think you should go and listen to Joe Rogan. Terence Howard was just amazing. And then Terence Howard with the other astrophysicist, when he brings them back, was just even better. He's had people on there. He's had a lot. If you go and deep dive into Joe Rogan's interviews this year alone, there's some absolutely classics, some fantastic ones. And I can't even name the names of these people, but I've just, I listened to a guy who founded PayPal, one of the founders of PayPal, very intelligent guy. I only listened to that the other day. I listened to Robert Kennedy Jr., which is, I think it's JFK's nephew. And I'm listening to him going, why is this guy not president of the United States? With the way he talks and the way he thinks, it was fantastic. And hopefully, I'm going to come back to more videos like this. I mean, I said, this is garbage, this is a ramblings of a man who's, when he's like been given information overload and he's not been able to segment it into the areas that he needs to be so he can have a restful mind. I'm nowhere near that at the moment. But I didn't think I was near that with Spanish either until yesterday, until I had a conversation. I was on the phone for 20 minutes yesterday. He's sniffing. He's just having a bit of a sniff. I was on the phone for over 20 minutes yesterday with that interview. And what was really nice about it was at the end of it, it was almost like, as I just said there, I managed to segment my Spanish or compartmentalise the Spanish into the places where it needs to be in my brain to go, yeah, I can do that. I can get that, I can do that. So with regards to my New Year's resolutions from this year, one of which was to improve Spanish, I'll give myself a mark of 7.5 out of 10. With regards to my New Year's resolution of lose weight, work in progress. We've still got a few months to go, haven't we? Still got 3 months. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'm not at the side. I'm on a private road at the side of a motorway, so I'm not playing on the motorway. Maybe I should. Thanks as always for listening. I'll see you on the next one, guys. All right, all the best. Cheers. Enjoy your day. Come here, mate.